right.
Okay.
So we're almost into the top 5, but first, number 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6 is Arizona.
Okay.
With their sophomore album, Asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Another band that I have been waiting for their sophomore album, because they had been, like, talking about it since the first one had come out. And they came out with that first album, I believe, like, 2017?
Was it 2017 or 2016? Because you had it in one of your lists. I think it was 2017.
It was one of those years, yeah. And so the fact that they finally put out Asylum this past year, the way that they released their tracks is like they did, 4 singles or 5 singles, and then like they were all on the album. That was a little lackluster. It was like I was hoping that I'd get like a whole new set of new songs. It's just kind of this trend I feel like we're seeing in the music industry now, where people put out single after single after single. And then even without making an EP, it's like, all right, now you have an EP worth of singles, and you just throw it into the album. But I will say that all those singles and the newer songs that you got to hear on the full album, I enjoyed it. It was great, and I love their story. I have been following them since they were, very young and had only been putting out singles, and I have a close connection with them because my brother really loves them, and I just wait for the day that Arizona comes back here and I can get tickets for my brother and the two of us can go together. That's awesome. That's one of his favorite artists now. Their messages in all the songs are very positive, and they focus a lot on mental health for a lot of their fans, and a lot of their campaigns that they've done on Instagram and all that stuff is to highlight their fans. And, like, from any song, like, I'm feeling a little, like, nostalgic. Like, talking about nostalgia and, like, what makes you feel nostalgic. Or there are some other songs in there that just, like, they find a way to use their songs to get their fans involved, which I really appreciate. Maybe it's because, like, this is their second album. They're still, like, relatively young. It's nice to see how, like, they're humble and thankful and showing that with all their fans. And, like, I had the privilege of meeting their band manager one year, and again, like, he was, like, around the same age as these guys, figuring out for the first time, like, it's just really cool to see that they've been able to progress this much. And, like, the fact that they were the opener for Panic at the Disco's tour.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? Like, they went around on tour with Panic. I think that's a great combo, and I think that definitely helped them grow a lot. And that's probably why they didn't come out with the second album, is because they were so busy with that tour. But props to them. I'm
glad that you brought up the mental health thing, because it reminded me of, I don't know if you listened to Avicii's posthumous album, Tim.
I did, yeah.
You know that Arizona was on that. They were on the song Hold the Line.
Yes! Oh, yeah.
And,
I need to go back to that one,
I mean, the cool thing about that album is that all the proceeds were given to charity.
That's right, you're right.
So, I mean, what better thing?
That shows it. I mean, that's Arizona again. I think they saw that. And, I mean, their sound is not just like Avicii's, but like they follow the same message.
Exactly.
So.
Another album that I did not know that it came out. I'll have to check it out once.
Yeah, definitely.
Once it comes out.
I think that's great too. Is just the fact that I think it's not. I'm very curious to get your opinion on it now because you didn't listen to the singles.
Right.
So now you just have a holistic sense of it. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's interesting that your number 6 was someone that you've talked about in a previous top 10, because mine is as well. So we're going with Jacob Collier with Jesse Volume 2. So Jesse Volume 1 came out last year, 2018, I guess now. And the cool thing about this project is it's a 4-part project. It's going to be like 40 or so songs.
Oh, so it's going to be 4 volumes.
Yeah. And this one around, I think it was like 16 songs. But what was so much better this time around than Jesse Volume 1 is the diversity. I talked about him in my room in 2016, and just to see where he has come, he's another one of these YouTube sensations that like has grown exponentially. He was on the new Coldplay album.
Really?
He was on the new Coldplay album.
Woo! Dang.
Yeah, like to see where this guy has come from, and he's also worked with Daniel Caesar.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're talking about someone who like came from nowhere in terms of this stuff, and it's just so cool because he plays every instrument, he sings every part, and this is almost my favorite jazz album. We're gonna go technical, I guess, but I'll just have to tell you later. It's just so good because it starts off with a couple of more like folky jazz songs, and then it goes into a beautiful rendition of Moon River, which is just all a cappella. He does this idea of using 100 different voices.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So does he record himself 100 times?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is crazy. And then, like, that's only quarter of the way through. We still have a song that sounds very much like a D'Angelo song, which is also awesome. We have a bunch of Latin jazz songs. We have a bunch of kind of more gospel-y kind of songs. You have a great cover of Here Comes the Sun.
Wow.
And then he also works with Stevie fucking Vai.
What?
On a song.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
This album has almost everything. And
wow.
it's just, the whole entire ride is phenomenal. Definitely worth a listen if you are any sort of jazz fan.
It's funny you say that because a good friend of mine, we have now been going through, like, every week we pitch a jazz song to each other, and we're just like, I pick one, then she picks one, we go back and forth, and it's been so great. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
Cool.
That's very nice.
Wow,
that's so cool.
And
all those features.
But that didn't even hit my top 5. So
it's almost gonna be even wilder.
Oh god,
I do this. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like there's sort of a theory to this, but like there isn't. All right, so should we jump into 5?
We're at number 5.
Okay, no one's gonna know this one, but he's an artist called One Mic. His album is called Word of the Wise.
Nope.
Yeah. So. One Mike, his actually name is Mike, but I know him because we used to be coworkers.
Okay.
And he's been putting out, I think this is his 4th album, and it's the only one I really listened to. Again, it's one of those artists where it's like, all right, now I'm on board, I gotta go back and listen to everything else. He just does the most phenomenal job of creating this world for you through, it's rap.
Okay.
In rap and hip hop style, and maybe I connect a little bit more with it because he's talking about things like in Massachusetts and Lawrence and all these other places around where he's lived and grown up. There's this one track on there where he has a friend who has been incarcerated, and he uses the conversation he has on the phone with him in the song. It pulls you into this world of his in such a phenomenal way, and it creates a really great story. It's on the list because it's hard to describe, and that's what I love about it, because no one knows about him, and he does it in such a way where he's extremely humble. And like when I got his album, it came with a sticker that shows a heart, a greater than sign, and money.
Aww.
Like, that's how I'll describe him,
right.
You know? And you can see that in the music he does, but the production is really great. Like, I think it's awesome. I think he's obviously using a lot of local resources, and it's a very local style, but, man, people need to hear this guy. People really need to hear him because he tells a great story. And it's like, we talk about, like, bigger artists, bigger rap artists, they don't tell full stories, like, or it's like, their stories are, like, unachievable, unobtainable, just ludicrous ideas.
I'm not good. I'm looking at you, Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Big Day. One Mic does a way to tell like a story, like that it can be very relatable to anybody. So yeah,
that's cool.
I highly recommend it.
I mean, hopefully we can give him a little bit of a bump.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Number 5 for me is Peripheral with Hail Stan. Peripheral is a gent band, if you will.
A gent band?
Yeah, so like there are certain bands that have coined that term. One of the bigger ones would be Meshuggah.
Okay.
Has a little bit of thrash, it has a little bit of hardcore, it has a little bit of screaming in it. But they've always been really good at just being very technical with their guitars. My brother and I last year went to see them, and they recently just got rid of their bassist. So they were like, screw it, we're just going to use 3 guitarists. And it's like, okay.
Just tune the guitar way down.
Yep, that's all they did. They've been great. I've loved a lot of their stuff. Their 3rd album, one that I wasn't as high on when I first listened to it, but as I've listened to it more and more, it's become one of my favorite metal albums of the decade.
Wow.
It's just really solid, but the problem I've had with it is that it's not as diverse sometimes, so some of these songs do sound a little bit similar.
Oh.
So they used to be part of Sumerian Records, and now they are in their own label, and they've been able to do whatever they want.
Great.
And what has come of that is an incredible album. You have so many different ideas just thrown on here. Your beginning song, Rectile, is 15 minutes long. Your first song on the album.
That's a nice
Your last song is 9 minutes long.
Okay.
And then you have 7 other tracks in the middle. I mean, it's a hard album to like start listening to.
Swallow.
Right, but like
if you get past that first song, you're in for a ride.
You get songs that feel kind of like Avenged Sevenfold. With the song Sentient Glow, you get a song that feels a little bit like A Day to Remember in It's Only Smiles, which is a song about the lead singer losing his, I want to say his a sister, I want to say, and being like, I have to still work it out and just carry on. It's only smiles, It's a tough song, but it sounds so upbeat, yet it has a powerful message.
I like that when you have tracks that like the music is uplifting, but the lyrics will just cut you.
Yeah. You get a song that kind of sounds a little bit like Nine Inch Nails. There's just so much diversity. And then the other thing is that the lead singer, which is escaping my mind right now, unfortunately, but he stepped up in such an incredible way. He's had a good voice, but just the powerhouse of a performance that he's done on this whole entire album is incredible. His screaming's on point.
Not easy.
His melodies, which there are some ones that are very tough. If you were to like try to sing it yourself, they're tough. There's some very dissonant ones. The power that he puts behind everything is incredible. And the last song, Satellites, is very close to being my favorite song of the year.
Really?
This 9-minute song.
I think I remember you telling me about this too.
It's an incredible song. It's his best vocal ever. The bridge part is phenomenal. I can't say it anymore. It's like you have to listen to this song, and it's 9 minutes long. I get it, but it's worth every second, and it's only 5. There are some songs that just don't stick as well, and there's just 4 albums better, but they have jumped up to becoming one of the better metal groups currently, and I will be anticipating any other album that they'd be putting out.
Wow.
Yeah.
One interesting thing you said there, Kyle, is like just focusing on Satellite.
Yeah.
What made this year very difficult for me, I mean, every year's tough, but it's just the way that music industry was this past year was that a lot of artists, and you probably noticed me saying it already, they just put out singles and more singles and another single and never an album. Maybe an EP, but I didn't count EPs here.
Neither.
Man, if you asked me to do like top 100 songs, I would say no thank you. But that was the tougher part of setting up this list here, was because there are so many singles that I heard that's like, this is great, I want more of this, and like I would just get a single after a single after single. So it's like, that's why when having the Japanese house on, there's like, all right, you got the album. Yes, this is what I've been waiting for, And it's an interesting trend that I saw this past year, and that's just because of the way streaming is. And so, like you just said, if you can get past the first 15 minutes of this song, great, you're in for a good time.
Right.
It's not common, but like when it works, it freaking works.
And I'm not even saying, like, that 15-minute song is still phenomenal. It's just, I understand for people it would be a little bit harder sometimes.
That's what I meant. Absolutely.
Though, like, okay, if you are going to have a problem with that, then my God, you're not going to be ready for my top 30. Okay.